Hello, we are the Juniper Networking Capstone group, and today we are going to talk about implementing Mist Artificial Intelligence, or Mist AI, into a real-world Juniper network environment. I am Caden Arlt. I'm the project manager.
I'm Austin Hornick. I am the Mist AI specialist.
I am Tufu Zhang. I'm one of the Juniper network engineers.
And I'm John Amberg, also Juniper network engineer.
And my name is Chua. I'm the Azure engineer. And for our objective for the our Capstone is to test the capabilities of Mist Artificial Intelligence using Juniper devices in a real-world network environment. So for our presentation today, we will be going over what Mist AI is, zero-touch provisioning, Marvis, wireless features, the alert systems, and then the mobile application, then last but not least, the scripts and the Mist API. So for our presentation today, I will be acting as a customer, and my team here will help us understand what Mist AI is and how we can use it to manage our network. So my first question is, why is Mist AI important, and what is it?
Well, Mist AI is a cloud-based network configuration and monitoring software. It is enhanced with AI and is one of the first to do this.
So how do I add devices to Mist AI?
Well, first we'll just take a quick look at our topology here. So for our topology, since both Mist is cloud-based and we did not have access to any physical devices, we used Azure as our cloud-based solution. So we have two routers set up in our HQ site and one router set up in our branch site. I will be adding that router as part of our live demo. So for here, we will just go to our Mist AI. And there's three types of devices you can add in Mist AI. That being access points, switches, and WAN edges, or just routers. So if I just go to the inventory here and I go to claim WAN edges. So from here, if we had a physical device, we could just enter the activation code that would have been back on the back of the device. Or if we were using the Mist mobile app, we could scan the QR code that would be on the back of the device. However, since we are using virtual routers, I will have to go to Adopt WAN Edges and copy this script to the clipboard. And from here, we will remote into our router here. Go into the configure mode, paste our script, commit the changes, and it may take a little bit here for this to happen. All right. And then I should just be able to refresh the page and we should have a new device added here. Yep, the unassigned router.
Awesome. Speed and efficiency is a main concern of mine when deploying new devices. How can I use Mist AI to help me minimize errors and speed up the process of deploying new devices?
Great question, Joel. With our Juniper network solution, with Mist AI, we've been using zero-touch provisioning, also known as ZTP for short. So basically, a brief description of ZTP is it is a automated process enabled through the cloud management interface, which will allow you to basically configure and deploy network devices without or minimal manual intervention in a speedy and efficient manner. So when a new device is added, such as the one Austin just added, we are going to use ZTP along with a template that Mist AI incorporates. And that's how we are able to deploy a new device to it. So if I go to here and select our unassigned device, I go to more, we will be assigning to a site. So in our case, I'll be assigning to a branch site. So now that's assigned. Usually it'll take about a couple of minutes to spin up the router and be connected. So in the meantime, I can show you our templates that we currently have configured. We'll go to organization in our WAN edge templates. So we have two templates previously configured, one specifically for the branch and one specifically for the HQ. So I will go into our little branch template right here. So a little brief description of what this is and what we're doing. We're able to configure settings of NTP, DNS. Just going down to the list, we have setting up our WAN, LAN, and also down at the bottom here, if there is you want to add the manual commands to your routers, there's also a CLOG configuration you're able to add in. let's say you want to add a switch. So the template that we're currently using is for a router. We're looking at our switch templates. Switch templates actually offer a wider variety of templates you're able to use, such as configuring radius, SNMP, and static routes. So now I will go back to our WAN edge. Go back to our inventory. You see that's still disconnected, but we will refresh our page. So now you see that our VRX3 is now connected to our device, then to Mr. IA. So when a template is assigned to a site, such as we did for our VRX3, Mist AI will, or ZTP will communicate with DHCP, and then it will communicate with Mist AI, which will then take the configuration from the cloud. In our case, our template we use. So when we use the template, it will take the configurations in the template and it'll automatically configure to what will fit the network. And also, once you have your device connected, you're also able to go into the GUI for it. So here we can see our VRX3, the ports is connected to the management interfaces, our security settings. And down here in our properties, you can see our branch. You can now see that it's currently using our branch template. Now we move on.
Whoa, where did this come from? I must have unplugged it on accident. How can I ever find out where this cable belongs?
Never fear, Chua. Marvis is here. Marvis, aptly named after Jarvis from Iron Man, is your own virtual network assistant and network monitoring software built straight into Mist AI. Now, as we've stated, we don't have any switches or access points that we were able to implement into Mist AI. So instead, I will show a short video talking about the capabilities of Mist AI, or of Marvis. So within this video, you will see that there are various actions you can take regarding access points, switches, WAN edges, and layer 1. With layer 1, you can detect and see the bad cable, as you mentioned, as well as see exactly which device and port is affected. Under the connectivity issues, you can see a multitude of things, such as DHCP and DNS failures. Under the AP section, you can see any AP health issues or connectivity issues. Under the switch, you can see missing VLANs, bad cables again, negotiation mismatches, etc. And under WAN edges, you can see bad cables, bad WAN uplinks, and even more. One other cool feature about Marvis is its very own integrated chatbot. So right here, it will say, hello, Chua, or in my case, Caden. I'm Marvis, your virtual network assistant, and it will give you a few options in which you can select. Currently, there is troubleshooting, searching for devices, looking for Mist AI and Juniper documentation, as well as other Marvis actions. In this case, we'll click on search. It will ask me for a MAC address, name, model, or any other useful device information. Type in Capstone, VSRX1. And it will bring me a link straight to this device. In which case, I will open under the Monitor tab. I'm going to increase the timeline just so I have more data to show you. And here under this graph, we can see that there are various WAN edge events that have happened over the course of a week preparing for this presentation. These events are separated into good, neutral, and bad based on the powers of AI. So to give a few examples, under the good category, you will see a port coming up, a WAN edge connecting, the device being configured or reconfigured, outlined in green. Under the neutral tab, this is events such as when your WAN edge restarts, outlined in yellow or orange. And then finally, under a dark red, you have the bad, which is when the WAN edge is disconnected or a port goes down, for example. Furthermore, scrolling down, we can also see a number of statistics regarding our devices in order to gain a useful insight into our network. This is especially useful if you are looking at perhaps upgrading your network or you want to see which devices are the most stressed. You can see it straight in this console. So first off, we have the CPU separated into both control plane and data plane. Scrolling further down, we have memory utilization and bytes separated into TX and RX. We have any port errors you might come across, the power draw of the device if they were physical devices, any IPsec traffic, and LTE RSSI. Furthermore, at the bottom here, we can see current WAN edge properties. These include status, IP address, the location if it's on the floor plan, the MAC address of the device, as well as a few other things.
That's pretty neat, Caden. But what if I want to make manual changes to the device remotely?
Glad you asked. There's an option for that too. If we were to click on WAN edges and click on the device you'd like to edit in question, there's this little utilities drop-down menu right here where you can open up a remote shell right in your web browser. This is especially useful if you don't have access to any SSH keys or if you're just signed in working from home. You can make any manual changes, or if you are looking for a specific show command to find specific information about a device, you can see it right here. So if you type in show version, you can see information regarding Junos' current version on this device. In addition to this, if we go to the Utilities tab, we can also see that there are other options for you. You can download the Junos configuration, you can reboot the device, you can upgrade the firmware on the device, and you can even snapshot the device. These are all useful tools that a network administrator might use in their day-to-day lives, which can save time from them having to do it some other, perhaps more inefficient or robust way.
Access points were mentioned earlier. What features does Mist AI offer for wireless?
All right, so Mist AI, one of its major focuses is in the wireless aspect of it. So if I can go to location, I can show you some of the heat map we made of just the UW-Stout MSC. It's just a virtual one. We had just used virtual beacons just for the time being. And with the map scaled properly, we can see that the coverage zone of the APs. We can go to just edit the said power of the output of them, add in names, messages, URLs, UIDs, everything like that. Well, let's say I wanted to decrease the power of all of these beacons. Well, I can select all of them at once. Just select transmit power here, and just being able to edit it down to, we'll just do 17, just to see if that will still have full coverage while also providing a decent experience. And kind of just dropping down the power of all of them, we can now see that we have a dead zone here in the middle a little bit, slightly by this exit, and right by the involvement center. Another nice thing that you can do is you can just select these beacons here and it'll show just that beacon. Or if we had some switches installed here and it would show you, and selected the switch, it would show you every single AP that is connected to that switch and highlight them on this map, as well as showing you the power draw for that switch as well, so you won't just overload your switch.
Awesome. But what if I accidentally disconnect a cable again in the future? Can I use Mist to help me when something goes on my network so that I could address the problem in a more timely manner?
Yeah, it's amazing you asked that. Instead of configuring, setting up, and paying for an NMS or network management system, you can use the one right in Mist. So to do this, you go over to the Monitor tab, and then you click Alerts. You can see here that we have an alert set up from when we turn on the WAN edge before this presentation. But you could do even more cool stuff. So you go to the right corner, and you see Alerts Configuration. You click on that, and then from in there, you can send messages to your email, to the entire organization admins, or just certain admins depending on the site where the device had the issue. From here, as you can see on the screen, you could see that you could send emails such as ARP failures, DHCP failures, DNS failures, everything for routers, APs, switches, and even some security information here. To show you what an example of an email looks like, you got this one here, which shows the WAN edge was reconnected for the Capstone organization for Site HQ. It shows the MAC addresses of the devices as well as the host names. So with all these amazing tools and notifications, this should be able to help you keep on top of your network with minimal downtime and quicker repair times.
Cool, John. But what if I'm out of town? Can I still monitor my network remotely?
Yes, you can, and you can do that right in the Mist mobile app. So on the Mist mobile app, here, we have the claim devices to the org, which is what Austin was talking about before with the QR codes on the back where you can scan them. And you can also identify APs, and then you can see each branch or the sites, which is branch and HQ. And when you click on those, it pulls up all the devices that are inside of those sites, like what you see on the left side of the screen here. Furthermore, you have just some better screenshots of adding the QR codes here, all the access points, and then this is the heat map or the floor layout, excuse me, of just some demo that we have here. And you could show the AP is green, which means that it's up, and red meaning it's down. Over here, all the way on the right, you have this breakdown of an access point with a locate button. And with this locate button, it has a Find My iPhone type tracker, so you can click on it and you can walk around the floor plan and find the exact AP that's having issues. One of the best things you could do with this mobile app is you can see when the APs are down. And that's good because Mist has something called Mist Meshes Network, which means that if a switch were to go down and half the APs were to go down, but the other half stay up, you can use the mesh network to keep all of them up to provide streamless internet connection at all times.
What if I have hundreds of sites? Can Mist AI support automation? Good question, me. Mist AI is 100% API driven. To demonstrate this, we could run a Python script, and this Python script will be able to authenticate with our Mist AI using an environment file that stores our API token, and it will read through a CSV file, which is provided here. This first line defines the parameters, such as the site name, the address, the country code. You can also provide other parameters, such as the site ID or the site groups, or even apply the site to a predefined template. So to run this, we would use Python and then the name of the site and then the address to your CSV file. Press enter, then it authenticated by using our environment file. Then just follow the prompt. You choose R to restore to an existing one, and then choose our organization, and then confirm by typing the name. Press enter, and you can see in a matter of seconds, these sites will be created automatically. And if we go to our Mist AI dashboard and site configuration, refresh, you will see that all the sites are created. Now to recap, we went over what Mist AI is. It is a cloud-based platform used for network management with AI integration. We went over zero-touch provisioning, which is used to automate the deployment of Juniper network devices through templates. Then we went over Marvis, which is your virtual network assistant in Mist AI that can help you troubleshoot your network. Then we went over the alert system and the mobile application that we could use so that we will always be informed of our network's status, no matter where we are in the world. Then we went over the Mist wireless features to improve wireless stability and visibility throughout our network. Last but not least, we went over the Mist API, which we can use to automate tasks such as site configurations through the use of Python scripts. Now that I know what Mist AI is and how I can leverage it to proactively manage and scale my network, I feel confident in leaving my network at the hands of Mist AI.
So before we end this presentation, we wanted to do a brief recap on our experiences throughout the semester and reflect. As a project manager, I learned a lot about managing projects. I have been the team lead for my project management course last semester, but this is a vastly different experience from having a SAO and working the whole semester on one single goal or multiple goals in our instance versus doing the weekly assignment with a few other people. And definitely learning to plan and slow down rather than delving headfirst into technical work was a big struggle of mine and something that I learned just how important it is.
So before this, working with Mist AI, I used Juniper and also an NMS system in the internship and job that I'm doing this past summer and after graduation. But learning all this information that I could do with Mist AI, I'm definitely going to recommend it to my company because it can save us a lot of time when it comes to troubleshooting. And the alert system that they have in there is just easier to use and cleaner than most NMS systems out there.
So one of the biggest things that I learned was just being able to adapt as we were going throughout the semester. Mist AI has just been adding features as we kind of gone along. So we kind of just tried to adapt those into our presentation as well. And one of the big ones that we saw was the Mist edges right there on the side was added just this Wednesday. We didn't really have time to add it in, unfortunately.
I guess for me, because basically just learning about the whole Juniper and the new syntaxes. Because here at Stout, we've been pretty much just learning Cisco the whole time we've been here. These past 3 months, it's been a wild ride learning to integrate, successfully integrate Juniper. But luckily we had John here who's had experience in, and now we're able to successfully do our thing.
Yeah, it was a pleasure working with my team here, and I learned a lot about what Mist AI is and its features.
Thank you.
We thank you again for the presentation. We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Juniper, for the opportunity.